The American voter, on the left and the right, we'll get to the differences here in a minute, but the American voter loves to divorce himself from his votes, from the results of his votes. He does. He thinks that it's someone else's problem, someone else is always wrong. And there are two classes of voter in this country. They share this in common 100%. They are totally responsible for their situation. Who are those two classes of voter? Urban Democrat voters, anyone who lives in a city and votes Democrat, and Republican primary voters or non-voters. Democrats who live in cities, they get exactly the government they deserve. Exactly the government they deserve. Republican primary voters and non-voters, they have the GOP they deserve. Most Republicans don't even bother voting in the primary, and the ones who do go vote for the same group of losers in office every time. If you're complaining about the GOP, well, do you vote in the primary? Do you vote against the establishment? Are you a Democrat voter in the city? Have you seen these numbers in the cities? Here's some for you. Washington, D.C. doubled its car thefts this year. I love this one. New York City lost $4.4 billion in retail theft. $4.4 billion. 2,500 NYPD cops have already retired. 2,500 retired. And am I supposed to feel bad about that? I mean, I don't. I don't feel bad about that at all. Look, Eric Adams got up and said New York had a brand.
We have a brand. New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something. You know, when we go there, it's not, Kansas doesn't have a brand.
Yeah, I've been to Kansas quite a bit and New York quite a bit. I've never once, when I've been to Kansas, seen a grown man peeing on the subway.
I know good and well. I'm really living here is I don't know what to say sometimes. I really don't. Oh, hell no.
You see, people in New York love to complain about the current status of New York. It sucks here, all the crime, all the pee, all the terrible, the cops are retiring. But then they either don't vote or they run out and vote Democrat every single time. And so your Democrat friend who lives in New York, the next time he complains, I actually just did this to one of my friends a couple weeks ago, votes Democrat. Next, he complained to me about the status of it. And you know what I told him? You voted for this. He was so hurt. He just didn't understand that this was his fault. And that brings us to the GOP. Can you believe that this man here was once the GOP nominee for president?
I'd be happy to vote for a number of the Democrats, too. I mean, it would be an upgrade from, in my opinion, from Donald Trump and perhaps also from Joe Biden. Look, I like President Biden. I find him a very charming, engaging person.
Okay, you're revolted. I'm revolted. I just need a shower listening to that dork sit and talk so lovingly about Joe Biden. But how was that man ever our nominee? How did that man get elected governor of Massachusetts? And maybe even worse, how is Mitt Romney one of the two United States senators from the supposedly very red state of Utah? Republican primary voters, what are you doing?